After midnight, several explosions were reported in Kharkiv. As a result, 2 small fires broke out, which were soon extinguished. According to preliminary information, there were no casualties.
One arrival was closer to the center. The other was in one of the adjacent areas. Again, S-300 missiles. Igor Terehov, Kharkiv mayor, on Telegram.
Russian occupiers launched a missile attack on the Vyshgorod community in the Kyiv region on the morning of July 28th. There is still no information about casualties. Rescuers are working at the site.
An infrastructure facility was shelled. All emergency services are already on the scene. Once again, I urge you not to ignore the alarms. Go down to the shelter. The war goes on. The enemy continues to launch insidious missile attacks. Alexei Kuleba, head of the Kyiv Regional Military Administration, on Telegram.
Russian missiles also struck the Chernihiv region. No damage or casualties have yet been reported. Neither are the locations of the arrivals.
Today we all woke up very early and it was an alarming awakening. Explosions were heard. Today there were more than 10 arrivals on the territory of the Chernihiv region. Thus the enemy congratulates us on the day of Ukrainian statehood. We are grateful people, and we will thank the enemy for it.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy also commented on the shelling this morning. He said that in the end, the Ukrainian army would win.
Restless morning, again, missile terror. We will not give up. We will not be intimidated. Ukraine is an independent, free, indivisible state, and it will always be so. Not all enemies are far away, like dew in the sun. We are of the Cossack nation. We are sure that destiny will smile on us. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
Russian occupiers continue to storm Ukrainian positions in the east of the country. According to the General Staff, the enemy does not abandon its attempts to fully capture the Luhansk region, however, without success.
They are still unable to pass through the Luhansk region. They are still dying there, losing their equipment, and they cannot do anything with our defenders. The new weapons, as we can see, are working well, and the Russian army warehouses and barracks with personnel continue to explode deep in the rear.
In the Slovyansk and Donetsk directions, the Ukrainian military also repulsed the assault. The enemy suffered losses and retreated.
In order to restrain our actions, the enemy is firing barrel artillery, multiple launch rocket systems and tanks in the areas of Trudolubivka, Potyomkine, Posad Pokrovsky, Andriivka, Blagodatne, Ternivka, Chervona Dolina, Pribuzke and Lupareve. It also carried out an airstrike near Novopetrivka. Ukrainian soldiers repelled the assault in the direction of Ruskinske Bilogirka. The invaders suffered losses and withdrew.
In the Mykolaiv region, the armed forces of Ukraine shot down a Russian operational tactical drone. The Ukrainian military also struck a machine-building plant in occupied Gorlivka in the Donetsk region with a precise hit. It was there that the enemy's ammunition depot was located. Another ammunition depot was destroyed in the Kherson region.
Our rocket and artillery units carried out more than 150 firing missions, as a result of which our fire control over transport arteries in the occupied territories was secured. Meanwhile, the occupation troops lost 51 people, as well as ammunition depot in Soldatske.
The Ukrainian military can strike enemy military facilities not only in the temporarily occupied territories, but also on the territory of Russia. The Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, Alexei Danilov, stated. In particular, they will fire at the places from where the enemy attacks on the civilian population of Ukraine are carried out by Russian occupiers.
If it is necessary, believe me, no one's hand will waver to sign what needs to be signed, so those facilities from where the shelling is taking place will be destroyed. Our president's statement that we will respond and fight back in the areas from which everything is coming confirms this. We are aware of all the shots fired by missiles, planes or ships at our country. Alexei Danilov, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, on Facebook.
And this is how the Ukrainian-Belarusian border in the Volyn region looks now. The office of the president told about the new fences built, cameras and thermal imaging devices installed. They assured that Ukrainian troops are fully prepared for a possible attack of the enemy from Belarus. Meanwhile, in the Kyiv region, after the liberation of settlements from the Russian occupiers, infrastructure continues to be restored. A bypass road was built across the Zdvizh River in Borodyanka. It can be used by trucks, passengers and cars. Reported by Marina Stepanenko, Alexander Belov, UATV News.